Noble Lords, Your Excellencies, welcome to this awesome webinar, being the maiden edition of the webinar series put together by the Association of Multi-Door Courthouse Practitioners. We do hope you will find this webinar entertaining, informative, and inspiring. We have a very special guest in the house, no other than a highly esteemed, celebrated, and decorated ADR practitioner to the core. In due time, we will welcome him. While we begin, please permit me at this juncture to give you basic information as regards the association. So I will do well to begin by sharing my slide. Could you confirm that you can all see my slide?
I can see it, sir.
Yes, I can see it, sir.
Thank you
Yes,
so
I can
much.
see your slide, sir.
Thank you so much. Let's stay muted, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. About the Association of Multi-Door Courthouse Practitioners. The Association of Multi-Door Courthouse Practitioners was established on the 11th day of November 2022 as an umbrella body for accredited alternative dispute resolution practitioners by Mr. Valentino Burr, an attorney mediator and pioneer mediation advocate in Nigeria. Mr. Burr reasoned that mediators, mediation advocates, as well as restorative justice practitioners and arbitrators who practice at the multi-door courthouses required a common platform where they can interact, share practice nuggets, as well as set professional standards for themselves. Membership of the association is open to both lawyers and non-lawyers who are qualified by training and accreditation to practice in any multi-door courthouse or other amicable dispute resolution forum. Initial membership of the association, which now stands at over 100 practitioners, was drawn from different ADR institutes, including the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC, the Attorney Mediators Association, the Standing Conference of Mediation Advocates, Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, Lagos State Multi-Door Courthouse, Edo State Multi-Door Courthouse, Settlement House ADR Training Institute, and other multi-door courthouses, including independent ADR practitioners who sign up by way of formal application for membership. Noble Lords, Your Excellencies, the vision of the convener is that the association will be a support for multi-door courthouses and its practitioners in the face of challenges. The association will also vigorously advocate for the uptake of ADR processes as a viable option for the resolution of legal disputes and the contention of conventional courtrooms. Noble Lords, Your Excellencies, thank you for finding time to join us. And if you don't mind, it will be an honor to bring on board the convener of this awesome association, Mr. Valentino Burr, as he shares just a little word with us that will help us to begin the business of the day. Mr. Valentino, please, if you're on the call, the floor is yours. Please unmute and share your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much, Samuel. Let me join you in welcoming everyone on this call to this first of its kind webinar. On a personal note, I am indeed overwhelmed by the numbers of persons that have registered to take part in this webinar. This is because when I first mooted the idea of this association to colleagues, the feedback I got was a no-no. What is happening today is a validation of that saying that whatever you want to do, just do it. Time will tell. So on this note, I want to warmly welcome everyone, and I look forward to a very robust outing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Sir Vanity Rebro, for those words. Indeed, whatever you want to do, just do it. Time will tell. Noble Lords, Your Excellencies, distinguished participants, if you don't mind, please permit me to read a concise version of the profile of our special guest today, even as we delve into business proper. Permit me to share my slide. Ambassador Segun Ogunyowo, the Ambassador of Appreciation. Our special guest today is an author, a trainer, an engineer, a mediator, a negotiator, a consultant, a conciliator, a peace agent, psychoanalyst, a conflict analyst, a marriage counselor, a communication expert, a certified public speaker, CEDAR London accredited mediator, certified third-party neutral, CICR Canada, a Klingendale Netherlands accredited insider mediator, MTI US certified professional in workplace mediation, member, steering committee, United Nations Mediation Support Group. Ambassador Segun Ogunyowo is an acclaimed mediator and trainer of mediators. He holds a first degree in mechanical engineering with extensive experience in training and human capital development. He brings to the mediation process the creativity and ingenuity of an engineer, calling the process human engineering. He also holds a master's degree in peace and conflict studies with PhD in view. Our guest has consulted and trained mediators for several institutes and organizations. Amongst them, permit me to just mention Shell Petroleum Development Company, Midwestern Oil and Gas, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Central Bank of Nigeria, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, United Nations Development Program, German Agency for International Development, Justice for All, the Mercy Corps, International Republican Institute, Kofi Annan International Peacemaking Training Center, Heartland Alliance International, International Rescue Committee, Norwegian Refugee Council, Nigerian Correctional Service, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta, the Nigerian Army Resource Center. Ambassador Segun Ogunyowo wrote the proposal for the establishment of the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse and served as the first in-house mediator at the center. He also wrote the proposals for the Kano, Uyo, and Ogun State Multi-Door Courthouses and served as consultants on the project. He's presently consulting for GIZ, providing technical support for the Plateau and Niger State Multi-Door Courthouses. He's also consulting for the Ebonyi State government to establish their Multi-Door Courthouse. Ambassador Segun Ogunyowo is the first Nigerian to receive the prestigious International Mediation Accreditation from the Center for Effective Dispute Resolution, CEDAR, London. He also has certification in preventive peace building from West African Network for Peace Building, WANEP, and the Conflict Transformation Institute, Denver, United States of America. Our special guest today is the president of the Mediation Training Institute in Nigeria. He is the immediate past registrar, CEO, and life member, governing council of the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators. He is a fellow of the Society for Peace Studies and Practice. He won the international call for consultants to conduct a neutral mediation, dialogue facilitation, and training of trainers education courses for staff of the Danish Dominion Group, an arm of the Danish Refugee Council. Ambassador Segun Ogunyo is a member steering committee, United Nations Mediation Support Group, and has the honor of being a West African Distinguished Personality of Repute. He's on the panel of neutrals of Abuja, Kano, Delta, Edo, and Ogun Multi-Door Courthouses. Also, member panel of the neutrals, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nigeria Communications Commission. Ms. Member, Board of Trustees for Initiatives for African Peace, Just One Foundation, and My Take Initiative. Ambassador Segun Ogunyo consulted for the UNDP Integrated Peacebuilding Program for Nigeria's farmers' headers crisis in Benue, Nasarawa, and Taraba states. He also consulted in the training for civilian joint task force and vigilante group from the Northeast and the conflict-sensitive approach to national development. He was a consultant on the Presidential Amnesty Program for ex-militants of the Niger Delta. Our guest today is the chief mediator for the Independent National Electoral Commission. He was judged for the National Client Interviewing and Counseling Skills Competition for university law students. He has done extensive research on the effect of personality types on team building and organizational performance, the financial cost of unresolved workplace conflicts, and the application of ADR in the criminal justice system. Ambassador Segun Ogunyo is the author of The Effective Mediator, a resource material for practicing and aspiring mediators. He loves peace and people, demonstrating deep knowledge and understanding of human nature. He is adopted one of the best mediators and trainer of mediators in Africa. He has been appointed as an ambassador for peace by the Universal Peace Federation, UPF. Your Excellencies, noble lords, permit me to say to all of you, you are all great men and women, and we appreciate you. Please find on your screen details of our special guest today, and feel free to reach out to him, Ambassador Segun Ogunyo, Ambassador of Appreciation. Thank you so much for listening to that concise version of his profile. Noble lords, your excellencies, highly esteemed participants, please join me in welcoming Ambassador Segun Ogunyo, the Ambassador of Appreciation, as we begin today's webinar, Multi-Door Courthouse Practice, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Thank you for joining in, and we appreciate you.
If you can hear me, I'll continue now.
Yes,
once again, thank you, my brother. And my another one was like, you are a great man. I appreciate you. So keep meeting on. But let's go on. We are supposed to spend 2 hours, almost 30 minutes is gone. Let's see how we can do justice to this topic that I love from the bottom of my heart. The Multi-Door Courthouse. Let's take it today. Thank you. Thank you. Special thanks to His Excellency, Sir Valentino Bruno, for inviting me for this maiden edition. Thank you, sir. You,
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Excellency. I'm happy to see you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm ready to hit the ground running. But first, I want to appreciate all those our Muslim brethren who have created time to be part of this. Thank you. You're all great minds. You have sacrificed a lot to be part of this. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. So, Sas.
Your Excellency, if you don't mind, we will appreciate. Let's begin this way. You were pioneer staff of the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, reputed as the Africa's first court-connected ADR center. What, sir, are your reminiscences of the little beginnings of Multi-Door Courthouse practice in Nigeria, and who were other pioneer staff of the center?
Thank you for asking. I appreciate you. I have the privilege of being the one that wrote the proposal for the establishment of the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. In fact, we had a program at USIS, United States Information Service. We were living. A lady called us and said, there's provision for us to support some projects. Why don't you have this? So she gave us a form. I got to the office, I presented 2 proposals. One, the Multi-Door Courthouse, the other one, Judges Mediation Program. And then they came to the NCMG, the Negotiation and Conflict Management, to meet with my boss then, my mentor, great man, Sir Ken, senior advocate of Nigeria. He asked us questions, series of questions. Now, when we're done answering those questions, they now then asked another question. I wanted to know if we had questions, comments, suggestions, and then Sir Ken, there, senior advocate of Nigeria, asked a question I will never forget. He asked them, how did we perform? That question I've used in different interviews. Instead of talking about your needs, ask, how did I perform during this interview? In telling us how we performed, the lady who was their spokesperson said we did well. But she would want us to harmonize the 2 proposals into one, because we're going to sponsor only one project. As he left, I called Mr. Eno. I said, sir, if you don't mind, I will do nothing in this CBN until these 2 proposals are harmonized. He agreed. On the day I completed the harmonization, I received a call. We're in a meeting. Have you harmonized the proposals? If yes, please bring it to the office. Number 2, Broad Street. I just finished, I had not printed. So I had to call a support staff to get a bike or Okada to be stationed. So I printed. We had provision for Mr. Ina and myself to sign. I signed for both of us, mounted the Okada, took the harmonized proposal to number 2 Broad Street. And I returned to Mr. Ina, called to ask for the proposal. How far? I said, I've submitted. That was the beginning. Do you know the spice the day of little beginnings? When we started, we had great people with us. Let me just name them the way they've come to my mind. The first again is Sir Ken, senior advocate of Nigeria. A great man, one that was tutelage and learned a lot. Sometime in Kanu, I was talking about Mr. Eno as my mentor. Woman said, no, do you know how much you've done in this program, how far you have gone? You can't continue to call Mr. Eno your mentor. I told her, madam, the day a river forgets its source, it will go dry. Mr. Eno will remain my mentor forever. That's the truth. I also have with us His Excellency Professor Olajide Olagunju. We had Her Excellency Madam Yinka Kolade. We had Dr. Oyegbule Oyegbuki. We had Mr. Busari. We had Madam Wune, later joined UNICEF. As support staff, we had Rachel. We also had Louis. And when the multi-door was properly established, launched, we had other people who joined us, like the present acting director of the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, Madam Achere. She came in as a core member. She did a youth service with us. And then Madam Ifi Malo was also there. We had some lawyers too then. A number of them have become judges, like Justice Sumbo Goodluck. Great woman who supported us in different ways. And then the Ediaru judge, Justice Dolapo Akinsoya, the judge who says that sometimes cases will emanate from lower courts, only to get to the Supreme Court and then be sent back to the court of first instance to be heard all over again. At the end of the day, it passes exhausted, embittered, and impoverished, quote and unquote. So we had a lot of people who were there. Some were coming to give us support, like Honorable Justice Rolly Harriman. She stopped by, encouraged us, asked questions, invited us about our office. A lot of people were there. And I've missed out some names. Please forgive me. Thank you for asking. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for taking us down memory lane, remembering the heroes of ADR and the Multi-Door Courthouse practice in Nigeria and in Africa. Thank you so much. It pays well to know where we started from in order to be well guided on the journey ahead, so that the labors of our heroes past, as far as ADR is concerned, will never be in vain. Your Excellency, please permit me to ask you these questions. If you don't mind, we appreciate if your audio can be tuned up a little higher. I'm aware that you're by engineer, looking at your profile. Please, why did you opt for mediation? You found primary professional practice. What happened? How did the drive come about? Thank you, sir.
Thank you for asking. I appreciate you. Thank you. I had the privilege of being in Warri for many years. At that time, I didn't know the difference between mediation and arbitration. I want to put on record that the first time I actually got to know that difference was when Mr. Kennedy, a senior advocate of Nigeria, gave me a book written by Professor Jude Lagunju, all the corporate mediators. Before then, while in Warri, I was consulting for Libob. Libob had a project with Shell, 32 million naira project in 1997 or thereabout. The first day they went out to work, youths from Ogun attacked them, attacked the workers, destroyed the properties, the vehicle, and other things. And then Shell invited consultants. I was there with the GM of Libob. The youths and their leaders were there. They said, no, the youths are not supposed to be here. The leaders of DOPCA is Delta Oil Producing Companies Association, said a man cannot stand erect without his backbone the youth's backbone, they will remain his. That was by Chief Elia. And then we knew that there was no way the youth would live there. The GM of Libob kept quiet. And then I proposed that since we had a 60% markup, we could share that with the different people from the communities who have skills in the maintenance jobs. The man kept quiet. And then we left, they called me and said, "Who asked you to talk?" I said, "Sorry, you kept quiet. I was there. I couldn't have kept mute." Chief Goma was there representing the government. Top directors of Shell were there too. And then the next adjourned meeting date, this man came to Wari. As he got to Shell Jeba, a young man came to him and said, "Sir, you are welcome." He came in yesterday at about 4:30 p.m. A vehicle 504 mentioned the type plate number, took you to Palm Grove Motel. And you were lodged in a room. He mentioned the room number. And this morning, you left that room. He mentioned the time and said, "You are welcome," and walked away. This man almost peed in his pants. "Call me. You told me what up." I said, "They knew you were coming. The last meeting, you were quiet." They wanted to open your lips for you to talk. If they wanted to kill you, would have killed you. The man kept quiet in that meeting. And as he left there, went to Palm Grove Motel, collected the things, came back to the airstrip, went to Lagos, and Libob lost a 32 million naira job. I told myself, this must not happen again. I must be able to do something about it. I couldn't do anything then until I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Ken there. So when he told me that was what he was into, negotiation and conflict management group, I knew I'd found my base. So I call it human engineering. So I'm still in engineering, but this time human engineering. So those experiences in the Niger Delta propelled me into finding ways and means of ensuring that conflicts are amicably resolved, to ensure that people can continue their business relationships in a way that will be profitable for them, to them, and to their communities. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Excellency, sir, that was a remarkable encounter that left indelible imprints in your life. Thank you so much for bringing us into your private space. If you don't mind, Your Excellency, sir, we do know that apart from private practice, you're also one of the top trainers of mediation. Please permit me to ask, if you don't mind, our members will be interested to know how you got into the practice of training, into the skills accreditation training, and what has your experiences been like from being a private practitioner of ADR into becoming a trainer of trainers? How has in practice been? What stories do you have to share with us, considering your high times and your low times? Thank you.
Thank you once again for asking. You, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Incidentally, whilst working as a contractor, as it were, we call them contract staff for an organization called Relent Tech Specialists, working with Shell. I also set up AVI Consults, an organization providing maintenance training for scheduled and routine maintenance for organizations. And we're training those sectors in the different organizations. I had a 7-year running program, training program with the Westminster Dredging Company, the Nigerian Dredging Company. So that was when I was introduced into training before I now had a consultancy with Libob. So training has been part of what I've been doing. But then for ADR, when I met His Excellency Sir Ken then, I was interested in joining him. Unfortunately, he agreed for me to join him. I had to do a lot of processing of what ADR is all about. So I read everything that I could. Unfortunately, I have very strong retentive memory. I recall the first time we were going to address students of the Nigerian Law School in Lagos. We were on our way when Mr. Eno just mentioned to me, again, we will address the students. I could not believe it. I was not expecting it. As we got there, the first thing I did was to go to the restroom. I came back and said I should talk about communication. And they did. So going back and encouraging me more. I should do more. And then he would create time for us to do a lot of rehearsals. I recall there was a day we went for a program, he was not there. I came back, I was sharing with him. I whooped, man, was on the stage moving about. She was not using the platform provided. Mr. Kennedy, I know, senior advocate of Nigeria, shared a thought with me that day. I will never forget. He said, we are all on stage in this world. How you manage that stage will determine how you are perceived and rewarded therefrom. I'll take that again. We are all on stage in this world. How you manage that space will determine how you be perceived, the reward that will come from such. So I've always looked forward to opportunity to talk. But then I also learned along the line that a reader today, a leader tomorrow. So I read and read. So much so, I could recite almost all the relevant portions in our constitution talking about ADR. That has helped me in showing that I can add value. And people tell me sometimes, you are training judges, you are training magistrates. I say, no, I don't have what it takes to train judges. What I do is to learn with them and learn from them. So if I go to town A, I learn with, I learn from. As I go around, I gain a lot of experience and knowledge that I've added so much to my reservoir of knowledge of mediation in particular. So reading has really helped me. Some low times would be when I find those who have been trained not putting the skills into practice. That can be very sad. I have somebody who has acquired the skills and the but we are humans. Only God is perfect. For the high times when those who have done the training come and share their experiences, I will share one quickly. By the training in Benin at Constantia Hotel, a man came from Warri. He told me that he had paid for 5 days in the hotel as part of his preparation to disengage from his wife. As I was talking, just said, let him share with me. I said, really? Tell me more. I spent 45 minutes with him. That day, he went back to Warri. It was a man who had made up his mind to spend 5 days in Benin. And he said after the 5 days, we determine if he could continue. So I finally can be separated from his wife. He was coming from Warri for the remaining days of training. 2 years back, I was invited by the Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators for their program they had in Lagos. After my presentation, a man came to me, said, sir, do you remember me? I said, please forgive me. I can't. Please. He said, do you remember the man who came from Warri to attend the ICMC training in Benin and told you that he was using that opportunity to test the waters of separation from his wife? I said, yes, I remember. And I said, how far now? He whispered into my ears, we have 2 additional kids. Nothing can be as fulfilling as that. These are skills that can make a difference. I'm not just training people, we are changing lives. Thank you for asking. Thank you.
Wow, Your Excellency, you've highlighted that reading is principal to bringing you to where you are today. And very instructively, you said that you don't just train people, you learn with them and you learn from them. This is quite remarkable. So when we learn with others and we learn from others, we become better versions of ourselves, because it's not all about what you have to give, but what you can exchange with others to become better the way you were before you met them. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for letting us into that trade secret of yours. We hope to step on it. Your Excellency, if you can recall, something remarkable happened in the ADR space precisely May 2023, when the Arbitration and Mediation Act 2023 was signed into law. Permit me to ask, what impact has the AMA 2023 had on the ADR space in Nigeria? Is it a positive one? Is it a negative one? So it's a 3-in-1 question. What impact has it had in the ADR practice in Nigeria? And how can you project expanding it to measure it from a positive note? Or is there still more work to be done? Thank you, sir.
Thank you once again for asking. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. When we have codified laws that people can refer to, it helps the process. For years, people are asking, what law do we have backing up mediation practice? Now we do have one. That is a great positive. But let's appreciate the fact that beyond the letters of the law, the spirit of the law also matters. Do people fully understand the implication of having the Arbitration and Mediation Act? Have they found time to go through it? We're talking about benefits. Only practitioners who have gone through it can see what they can glean from it and how it can positively impact their practice. So there's need for a lot of work to be done. I know a man who is doing a lot of great job, Chief Sir Lloyd Duru, the Registrar and CEO of Mediation Training Institute. He's already gleaning from the law, doing some summarized versions that people, when he releases tools, can very easily have an idea of the entire gamut of all the Arbitration and Mediation Acts. For me, I've always said that mediation is the bride of ADR. So in Nigeria, now that we have the Arbitration and Mediation Act, we can talk about mediation in a way we have never done before and encourage people to be part of it. But that Arbitration and Mediation Act, if you look at it, the space provided for mediation is not much. So there's need for review of it to provide more space for mediation. Mediation for me is a process that everybody needs to appreciate if you're an ADR practitioner. Arbitration is like private litigation. You need more skills to be a mediator, because the ability to get parties on their own to agree is instructive. Because once parties on their own agree on how to resolve their dispute, they're more willing to abide by the terms. When decisions are imposed on parties, it cannot be like when they evolve those outcomes themselves. So we'll talk about win-win. Mediation provides that. So now that we have the law, to encourage those who are in practice to defend what they are practicing in a way that will show to the parties that they are indeed professionals, carrying out arbitration and mediation in an assured, confident, and professional manner. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your words of knowledge. Permit me to ask, if you don't mind, Your Excellency, What do you have to say regarding the disposition of Nigerians to ADR as it were? Have we been able to appreciate the essence of ADR? What can you say about how the practice of ADR can be made savvy to the generality?
Sorry, I muted all. It's as if I muted you too. Are you done?
Do I go over the question again?
I got it. If you're done.
Yes, I'm done with the questions.
ADR. ADR is original to us. The way they package things from Nigeria away, repackage them and bring them back. That's the way ADR was coming. And that's why some see ADR as African dispute resolution. It's something we are familiar with. It is those specific expressions, mediation, conciliation, arbitration. That's what people are not familiar with. We have a duty to let them know. Because on a daily basis, the average woman does several mediations with her
Your
children
Excellency,
and
sir.
family. Yeah?
Your Excellency, please, could you take that again? There was a bit of a network glitch.
Okay. You're asking to what extent Nigerians appreciate ADR, alternative dispute resolution. Most Nigerians outside of the justice delivery system, lawyers, magistrates, and judges, may not fully appreciate ADR. But I think we can focus more attention on those who are in that space, it will help. Because lawyers, for me, are the gatekeepers of the justice delivery system. If you go to court, what you see is not high court of litigation, but high court of justice. What are different ways of assessing justice? It's important for us to let lawyers, first of all, feel comfortable with ADR. We started, I recall in year 2000, when we had ADR 2000, it was a conference. The young lawyer raised his hand up and told us that for him, ADR meant an alarming drop in revenue. So when lawyers are comfortable, they can tell their clients. In Abuja, for instance, for a case to go to court, the lawyer needs to sign a certificate of pre-action counseling that shows that that lawyer has exposed the client to ADR options. We know that in the rules of professional conduct for lawyers, we have provisions encouraging lawyers to expose their clients to ADR before resorting to or continuing litigation on behalf of their client. And if a lawyer fails to do that, that lawyer will be guilty of professional misconduct. So our lawyers first. And I will not blame them because sometimes mediators in sessions make lawyers feel uncomfortable. I called many years back at the Multi-Door Courthouse in Lagos. A mediator had lawyers with her and their parties. And she pronounced there that the lawyer's role essentially is that of observers. The parties are here, they will speak for themselves. Then she had the applicant to speak. The man stood up, adjusted himself, and said, "My lawyer not fit dey here. Make me, I thought, lawyer, fire on." And then he sat down in a way that we know he will not get up again. That's why I ask mediators, once you have lawyers with you, I appreciate their coming. Tell them, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. And I look forward to working with you throughout the proceedings. I'll take that again. If you're a mediator and you have lawyers with you, parties come with their lawyers, don't ask the lawyers to stay away. Once they stay away from outside that room, they start sending messages. Do not accept anything without my consent. So from outside, They're now controlling. Bring them in. I appreciate their coming. I can see that both sides have their lawyers today. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you both. And I look forward to working with you throughout the proceedings. What's the advantage? Once there's stalemate in mediation, I would call the two lawyers. I would tell them, if this case is not resolved today, we are the ones the parties will go back to. If you don't mind, I'd like to pick your brains on how best you think this dispute can be resolved. Once the two lawyers agree, they find it very easy convincing their clients. So I want to say, let the focus first be on lawyers appreciating that ADR is not alarming drop in revenue. It's a process that can enhance the justice delivery system. And after that, they can take it more and away to the public. I think there's a lot of work being done advocating for people to appreciate through multi-door courthouses, for people, for parties to have a place where they can go to prevent them from resorting to self-help or taking laws into their hands when they have conflicts with their neighbors and other people. Thank you once again. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We deeply appreciate you. Noble Lords, Your Excellencies, please be informed that there will be an opportunity for everyone on the call to make inputs or ask questions, to raise concerns as regards the practice of ADR in Nigeria, Africa, and globally. Please do well to stay put. At such point, we will welcome comments from participants. Your Excellency, please permit me to ask this question. Negotiation is said to play a very major role in mediation outcomes. Do you subscribe to the popular categorization of mediation as a third-party assisted negotiation? Yes or no? Either way, please explain in details to us, please.
Thank you. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. The answer is an affirmative yes. Mediation is indeed assisted negotiation. The parties have tried to negotiate, they have failed. The mediator comes in as a catalyst. In elementary chemistry, we are taught that a catalyst is a chemical substance introduced into chemical reactions to speed up the rate of reaction, yet it remains chemically unchanged. That well describes the role of the mediator, who goes in to facilitate communication between the parties for them to be able to arrive at their own solution. Yet the mediator is not absorbed by the process. I'll take that again. A mediator goes into the process to assist the parties to negotiate and come up with solutions that are mutually beneficial. The mediator is a catalyst, assisting the parties to get a resolution of their dispute, while not getting absorbed by the process. How can the mediator be absorbed by the process? But he says, don't mind him. Say, why are you saying that? Don't you know he's an Ijebu man? And the mediator says, no wonder. Then the mediator is absorbed by the process. So yes, indeed, mediation is turbocharged negotiation. Mediation is assisted negotiation.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We've always known that the different ADR spectrums in most cases do not exist in isolation. Most of them find a way of intertwining for the purpose of arriving at an amicable dispute resolution. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Put find 3.
Yeah, somewhere.
Put 3.
I want to appreciate everyone for staying put. Please do well to drop your comments on the chat box. drop your concerns on the chat box. When we are done with this session, we will take them, and as many that want to speak to our guests directly, you will have the opportunity soon. Your Excellency, if you don't mind, I remember that you were part of those that conducted my baptism into ADR. I had the opportunity of coming into the ADR space for the first time, 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I was encouraged by my Lord, Honorable Justice M.E. Isweli, and you were part of the team that trained me just 4 years ago in the ADR space. Please permit me to ask this. You have mentored and inspired.
This light, well, this rain.
Richard.
Yeah.
Please, if you're not on the call, we will appreciate if you stay muted. Thank you for your show of enthusiasm. We appreciate it. Your Excellency, you've mentored and inspired countless ADR practitioners. And looking at your profile, your impact is not limited to Nigeria alone. Your impact spans into Africa and globally. Looking at your track record, I will want to find out, despite your years of practice and all the hurdles you surmounted, you are still on the top of your game. What is motivating you and what is driving your passion? I think it will be interesting to know.
Thank you for that question. You are a great man, and I appreciate it. What is motivating me? When a man knows where he's coming from, where he is, and where he's going, it makes the journey smoother.
So I will call her to know.
God's grace.
Apologies, Your Excellency. You can proceed, sir.
God's grace has been a major contributory factor, a major one. When you know your source, it helps. I know my source. It is God that has made it possible for me to get to where I am. People say you are successful. I say, no. Success is not a destination. Success is a journey. We are gifted differently. God has enabled me with the skills to reach out to people and their hearts and make them respond positively in ways that are unparalleled in the annals of meditation training and practice in the world. Let me give you a quick example. Last month, I trained some foreign delegates. Part of my training, I will ask the participants to pause and send a message of appreciation to somebody in close relationship with them. And if they are minded to, you can share the responses they receive. The following day, this man called myself and Chief Saloy Duro and said, you people, you don't know what you have done for me. I said, sorry, sir. Care to tell us more? I said, no, I'll tell you more. Yesterday, he asked us to send a message of appreciation to somebody in close relationship with us. I sent to a former partner and colleague, but separated amicably, but once in a while we reach out to each other. Yesterday, I sent him a message of appreciation, appreciating the times we had together and choosing your words. I rounded up by saying, you are a great guy and I appreciate you. The man called me today in tears and said nobody had expressed such kind words to him. Thank you, thank you. Say thank him too. The guy said, I'm assuring you today that your son is better. The son is in the same country where the other colleague still is. I'm going to pick his bills from now until he's done with college. That is the assurance I'm giving you. Thank you for your message yesterday. You told us that that singular act is saving 30 million naira per annum. The son is a very expensive school abroad, costing about 30 million naira per annum. And just one message can change his life. He wants to thank us. We should continue what we are doing. So when we see how people are reacting positively, when I see and people call to share their experiences with me, oh, how fulfilling. That is what drives me passion. To see how many more I can reach out and touch their hearts in ways that they can respond positively with results from their relationships. Thank you once again for asking. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Sadatu, I can see your virtual hand. You want to make a comment or you wish to ask a question? Please confirm.
Yes, I want to make a comment. Your Excellency, sir,
Okay.
I noticed if you are on the high pitch, we can hear you very well. But if you go low, we don't hear what you're saying. So I want you to maybe adjust the volume of your device so that we can get everything that you're saying is very important to us.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you.
Your Excellency, sir, secondly, other members of this group should please make sure if they are not talking, they should mute their device so that there won't be any distraction further. Thank you, Excellency. My question will come later. If I'm allowed to ask the question now, I will ask.
If you don't mind, we are almost done. Madam
Okay,
Sadatu,
sir.
you are a great woman.
Okay, sir. Your Excellency, from your vast experience, you are a man of many skills. Okay. You're a man of many. Can you help us with a kind of advocacy as to how we can get lawyers on board to the issues of mediation? Lawyers are running away and they're taking people from mediation to litigation. ADR, generally, lawyers don't appreciate ADR. What, in your skill, you are a man of many skill, what do we motivate lawyers with? What do we tell them so that they can embrace ADR, which is a better alternative to litigation?
Thank you, Excellency, for asking. I appreciate it. So I'll note it down as the first question I will address when we are done. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, Madam Sadatu, for your show of enthusiasm. From the tone of your voice, it's obvious that you desire the best for the expansion of ADR. Thank you. And please, if you don't mind, I'm sure when the opportunity for questions come in, you will do well not to just generalize speaking about lawyers in its entirety. You can rephrase your question to say some lawyers, because I do know that we have some lawyers that are into ADR and they support ADR. Why there may still be some of them that are yet to be convinced and converted into the practice of ADR.
Thank you for that correction. Thank you for that correction. I must apologize sincerely. Some lawyers are at the forefront of ADR. Then I want to say some lawyers, some of the lawyers that we have around, some of them, maybe even few of them. Sorry, sir. Thank you, Excellency.
Yeah, I appreciate you more because what I just did was done to me 2 years ago by our guest tonight. I was speaking with Ambassador Shego Guyo, and I said something. I made a generality, and he called me to order saying, Osas, it is not everybody, be specific and know that your observation is common to a group of persons and not to the entire group. and I'm privileged to stand on that correction to extend same to you. Madam Sadatu, you are a great woman and we appreciate you. We will soon open the floor for questioning.
Thank you, Excellency.
Your Excellency, Ambassador, the Association of Multi-Door Courthouse Practitioners is a handful of associations providing platforms for interaction and knowledge sharing among professionals in the industry. And you have been a very active and supportive member of this association. We owe you unreserved gratitude. Please, if you don't mind, what are your hopes for the mission of this association to which you belong to? What are our prospects as an association?
Thank you. Thank you once again for asking. The Association of Multi-Door Practitioners is supposed to bring together all practitioners at the multi-door, so we can share experiences and learn from one another. Only God is perfect. When we meet regularly and can share experiences, good and bad, it is good for the process. I know that some may feel challenged that people are coming together. In a country where there's freedom of association, don't be afraid. No, find out why they coming together. I see this association as expanding beyond the shores of Nigeria. Let us work together to ensure that the 36 states of Nigeria have multi-door courthouses. In my little way, and with the support of the great people, the Chief Judge, other judges, magistrates, and other people in Ogun State, we now have 5 multi-door courthouses in Ogun State. Only one state. The 6th one is about being established. There are some states that don't have. So if we have more multi-door courthouses, and we can invest practitioners into this association, then we have a bigger and larger platform. And then start looking and thinking of how to expand beyond Nigeria to establish multi-door courthouses in other countries, and also have practitioners come together. When people in the same sector have a platform to share experiences, knowledge, even their fears, their challenges, it will help the process. So I want to encourage directors of multi-door courthouses to open up the space for the practitioners to meet regularly, share their concerns. One major concern I've noticed is that when multi-door courthouses have directors and other staff seconded from the judiciary, the experience is very different. So where the multi-door courthouse sees the center as autonomous, and they bring in directors from outside who see and know that they must deliver for them to be paid. That would create a lot of more enthusiasm, creativity, ingenuity. We bring in more initiatives to power the multi-door courthouses. So let's associate more. Let's open the space. I see this as a body everybody will want to associate with, because I look forward to a time when even judges will be referring cases directly to the association for us to provide them with neutrals who can assist the parties in an assured, confident, and professional manner in the different multi-door courthouses. This is just the beginning. I see a huge future of this association. So let's keep hope alive. Let's appreciate those who have joined now, as we look forward to more people joining the association. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for us. All appreciate you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for this awesome foresight as regards the Association of Multi-Door Courthouse Practitioners. Quite remarkable. As we all know, among the spectrums in mediation is the expert determination and the early judicial appraisal. From what you're saying, it therefore means that multi-door courthouses can engage the association in seeking for expert advice as regards knotty issues and much more. We can have direct court referrals of matters to the association because it will be a think tank of ADR professionals. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for that awesome and inspiring vision. Noble Lords, Your Excellency, thank you for staying put till this time. Just one question left. I will leave the house open for contributions and questions from attendees. If you wish to drop your comments on the chat box, do well to do so. At the point where we start taking comments, we will appreciate if you use your virtual hands and we will call each and every one in the manner that we can view from our end. Your Excellency, our noble guest, thank you so much for finding this time with us. We appreciate, knowing fully well that you are a man that is so busy. As regarding the practice of ADR in Nigeria and in Africa, Your Excellency, if you don't mind, as we draw a curtain to this interaction, I would love to ask, do you mind sharing some memorable mediation encounters that you've had with third-party influencers? We know in conflict analysis, you have the primary parties and you have the shadow parties. And in most cases, these shadow parties have a way of dictating the tune. Your Excellency, could you share some encounters and experiences you've had where the intervention of third-party influencers came in to assist in the process for an amicable dispute resolution?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To start with, I want to caution that mediation is a private and confidential process. So whatever I'm going to say now will be such that will not breach such confidentiality. So I will go off the normal private mediation, especially now that you spoke about conflict analysis, to dwell a little on an experience I had during the amnesty program. We train mediators. Conflict analysis is a major part of the training. And so in mediation, there are times when I would ask parties, based on the way they are talking, I would ask them a simple question. Is there anyone outside of this room that is likely to be affected by the outcome of this decision? And then if we have such people, we bring them in. Why? When you notice discrepancies from what the person said yesterday when you met and what the person is saying now, suspect that there's somebody who is instigating that change in opinion. So I want to talk generally and not be specific. So again, once you notice that a party is saying things that are in contradistinction for what he or she said during the last meeting, suspect that there could be someone else. There are some mediators that are very quick. They want the mediators, don't leave here, let's quickly sign. They don't want them to go back home. I'm not that kind of mediator. No. If the party signs and then he gets home, he's a man and the woman says, hey, they use juju for you. That man will nudge on that agreement. Or the husband says, sorry, why would you agree to such? So don't forget, sometimes when you see such discrepancies, ask. Is there anyone outside of this room that is likely to be affected by the outcome of this decision? You may need to reach out to that person or even invite that person to be part of the discussions. I think I want to spare that experience about the amnesty program. Let's just appreciate the fact that once you suspect that they have third-party interventions in their decision, bring such people on board. Don't allow parties to sign agreement with the fear that if they get home, somebody will convince them. No. If they are convinced about what they are signing, they will defend it. Thank you once again for asking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We appreciate you. We do not take this privilege for granted. Having you as a guest in this maiden edition of a webinar put together by the Association of Multi-Door Courthouse Practitioners. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. My Lord's temporal and spiritual excellencies. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be glad to take questions. We'll be starting with a question from the director of the Niger State Multi-Door Courthouse. Your Excellency, thank you for asking. What can we do to encourage lawyers? To start with, it was in year 2000 or thereabouts. We had a lot of lawyers who saw ADR as alarming drop in revenue. Most of the ADR organizations we have are headed by lawyers. That shows a huge paradigm shift. So I have a lot of lawyers. And now that we are talking about the multi-door courthouse, I want to caution. There are different ways of getting cases to the multi-door courthouse. One of them is that parties can walk in. I've never been comfortable with parties walking into multi-door courthouses. We can talk about this some other time. But let's note that if a lawyer takes his client to the multi-door courthouse and the client gets to know that he or she could have gone to the multi-door courthouse without going through the lawyer, if that client has another case, has friends or relatives who have cases similar, we will advise them to go straight to the multi-door courthouse and not go through their lawyers. So the fear of some lawyers is not misplaced. So I want us through this association to advocate that for parties to walk into multi-door courthouses, centers within the administrative structure of the court, let them first go to lawyers who would examine the cases they have and then advise them on which of the doors will be best suited for their cases to be resolved. I'll take that again. Let us do what they do in developed climes. You can't go to a pharmacy for prescription drugs without having gone through the process of meeting with a medical doctor. Let's do this. Lawyers are the gatekeepers of the justice delivery system. Let parties go through them and pay. It may not be much, but let the lawyers be the ones to now lead them to the multi-door courthouse, not for them to walk in. I have asked a lot of cases where a lawyer will bring his client to the multi-door courthouse. After the case is resolved, that client will now be calling me and asking me to assist in other cases. I'm ashamed to say it, but most times I will tell the party that you know that it was through your lawyer that you came to the multi-door courthouse. Please, if you have any other case, go through your lawyer. That way we can protect the lawyers. Another way we can assist lawyers not to be afraid of ADR as alarming drop in revenue is for them to know how to charge in mediation. when the case comes to a lawyer in mediation, analyze and charge the way you would ordinarily charge if the case were to go through litigation. And then ask the client, a case like this that may last 3 years in court and you are spending 5 million, how much more will you be willing to pay if I can get this case resolved in 2 weeks or maximum 1 month? What are you saying? This is express service. How much more, especially for cases where the parties can appreciate the time value of money? Ask them, how much more will you be willing to pay if I go through the route of ADR? So knowing how to charge and also help lawyers not to see ADR as a alarming drop in revenue. Thank you, Your Excellency, Madam, for asking again. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Agunyowo, can I please interject or assist in this? You see, the issue
Please,
of the issue of lawyer resistance to ADR is not peculiar to Nigeria. At the inception of ADR, particularly mediation, the world thought about keeping lawyers off the process in order not to, again, step into it and legalize it just like arbitration is today. When arbitration started, it didn't have much of these lawyer technicalities. So lawyers were kept off. But it soon became clear that when anyone has an issue, the default professional it thinks about is a lawyer. And unless you get the lawyers involved, there is not so much that mediation can do to progress. I want to assure the director of the Niger Multi-Door Courthouse that as far back as 2010, we started a program on what is called mediation advocacy. Mediation advocacy under the umbrella of the organization that we brought it through, that is the Standing Conference of Mediation Advocates, is the lawyering aspect of mediation. A mediation advocate is a lawyer who is trained in the art of representing clients at mediation. That training is also available to non-lawyers who are experts in respective fields. They undergo the same training, but they are called mediation advisors. One mediator that joined the course some time ago in Lagos here was an elderly woman. When she came and after the course, she told us in the open that the reason she joined in was the effect of 2 mediation advocates that participated in her mediation. That she was surprised that these lawyers not only advocated the interests of their clients, but also found something for the other side. Because in mediation, if you do not give something to the other side, you cannot get what you want. So the training that lawyers are offered in mediation advocacy programs is to be able to appreciate the needs, not only of their clients, but of the other side. So I would encourage multi-door courthouses to try to promote the concept and training of mediation advocates. The SCMA, as far back as 2019, applied to the NBA and was made a service provider to the NBA on mediation advocacy. So we joined the NBA in training lawyers and non-lawyers in this art. That training has been taken over by a new institution now called the School of Alternative Dispute Resolution. The School of Alternative Dispute Resolution, among the many courses it trains in, is mediation advocacy. So kindly encourage lawyers around you. Kindly encourage even your mediators to learn this skill, because when they learn this skill, they will find that they are not opponents of the lawyers who come into the process. If you work together as a mediator with the lawyers, you get your job easier done. I have listened to Mr. Ogunyo over and again, and he epitomizes the best of such traditions, where you have to bring the lawyers into the system because they can assist you to facilitate. So the fear is there naturally because lawyers find mediation as intruding into their professional careers. But then we in the ADR sphere, I'm a lawyer myself, but I've been in this sphere for over 10 years now. We have to be able to encourage our partners, our colleagues on the other side to come in. It doesn't drop your revenue in any sense. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you, Excellency. I saw a question. Somebody said, addition of courts to multi-door courthouse. Is it not a minus? Yes and no. It's a minus when people do not fully appreciate what happens there. I call it the multi-door courthouse in Lagos when we started. Some parties, when they see courthouse, they were afraid. We now have to reach out to them and let them know that even though the center is within the administrative structure of the court, nobody will force you into any agreement. You will decide what is in your lasting best interest. Those who came and found it to be so, now became our national advocates. The positive for it to be part of the courthouse is that it enables magistrates and judges to find it easy to refer cases to a center within the administrative structure of the court. And that's the essence of the multi-door courthouse. When Frank Sander conceived the idea, his idea was to have it located within the court premises so that it can glean from the credibility of the judiciary. If you want mediation outside of that, we have the Ministry of Justice. There's several options, like the Citizens Mediation Center and other provisions outside of the High Court. But for the multi-door courthouse, where judges can refer cases there and the outcome sent back to the judge as consent judgment, is imperative it is located within the administrative structure of the court. Remember, so that it can glean from the credibility of the judiciary. Thank you. Nosa Mosue, please. Your Excellency, let's be privileged to hear you. Your hand has been up.
Hello, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, please go on.
Hello.
You have our divided
Can you
attention.
hear me?
Clearly, clearly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Your Excellency.
Hearing Your Excellency, all the participants.
I can't hear him again.
Oh, I think maybe he has been blocked up by network. Your Excellency, sir.
Oh my.
Okay. Now, dear participants, noble lords. Okay, it's back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
can you hear me now?
We can hear you, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
my apologies.
Yes.
I think I have a little glitch, network glitch. Your Excellency, we would like to thank you for your ever exciting presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have a question I have a question I'd like to present you for your attention. Where there is a situation where a claimant and 4 other respondents are parties to a dispute, and the claimant having subjected himself to mediation, and 3 other respondents have also submitted themselves to mediation. One of the respondents, who is a necessary party to the peaceful resolution of the conflict, is not willing to submit to mediation. What do you do
Thank you, Your Excellency, for asking. Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate it. Mediation, for the purpose of definition, is a voluntary, unless ordered by a court, non-binding, private dispute resolution process in which a neutral third party assists the disputing parties to arrive at a negotiated settlement. Voluntary. That's one major challenge of mediation. That's why we need people who are advocates, like His Excellency was talking about. You can reach out to that person. If it's an ongoing case, please, after this webinar, permit me to reach out to that person. Because sometimes people are reluctant for fear of the unknown. They don't fully understand mediation. If they know that mediation is one of the best means of getting the dispute resolved, and their interests will still be protected, they will not mind. So if you don't mind, let's reach out to the person. We cannot force anybody to come into the mediation process. It's when they come on their own, and then they can participate actively in the process, they can get the best out of the process. So thank you once again, Your Excellency, for asking.
All right, Your Excellency, as a follow-up to that, Your Excellency, if, for instance, after you have made all entreaties to this party and is still recalcitrant and not willing to submit to mediation.
Okay,
if it is foreseeable, yes, if it's foreseeable, for instance, that the matter can be trashed with the three respondents who have agreed to submit to mediation, theirs can be sorted out. Okay. Is it possible? Is it okay to go litigation with the other party who is not willing to submit? One option.
Thank you for asking. Thank you.
Second option, second option, Your Excellency, where the other party is still recalcitrant, does that end mediation?
Thank you. Thank you. Litigation will always be open as a last resort. So let it always be there. So it's not bad to use litigation. It's okay. As a last resort. So if you decide to go the route of litigation, you are following the path of civilization. So you are not resorting to several particular laws into your hand. But we'll try to reach out to the person. But if at the end of the day it says no, you can't do anything because there are parties that sometimes benefit from the conflict. So no matter how hard you try, it will not resolve. You will not even want to try at all. A man that sells coffins, if you're telling people will not die again, there's no way you'd want to be part of the process. So please, sir, if it's an ongoing case, we encourage you, don't give up. Don't give up. Say try. But if you decide to go the route of litigation, it is your right to so do. Thank you.
Thank you more, Your Excellency. Grateful to you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, if you don't mind, I have a direct message. What happens when claimants have made payment for their mediation fee and the respondent refuses to make payment for the process? What do you advise?
Thank you. Most multi-door courthouses allows both parties to pay the same amount. We have seen situations where a party may opt to pay for both of them for the process to go on. But if one pays, and it happens sometimes, that the respondent will say, now you carry me, go there, and you go pay. If that party is willing to pay for both of them, it's okay. But I've done, in some instances, return the money of the applicant and go with this. There are situations where we return the money and not go on with the case. So it depends. So each case must be treated on its own merits and be contextually specific. So it's a dynamic process depending on how the one who has not paid is likely to see the process and the outcome. Even though we know that mediation is a party-driven process and the parties are the ones that will decide the outcome. There are times when party A has paid. If at the end of the day, since I see the outcome favors party A, party B that did not pay, we start saying things that may not be complementary. So discern what would be in the best interest, not just for the parties, but also for the mediation center and the mediator in question. Thank you. I appreciate whoever asked that question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellencies. Dear participants, we have some few minutes to take your comments and your questions. Do well to drop your questions on the chat box. Oh, we have Bumi Adelabu. Your virtual hand is up. Do well to unmute. I must appreciate you. You joined the webinar quite early. Thank you so much for joining early and staying put to this time. We do not take it for granted. Please unmute and share your thoughts.
Good evening, Your Excellency. I'm so much happy to be part of the maiden edition of this program. Ordinarily, I see it as a lawyer. I always think, how can, when I was listening to Ambassador Ogunyo's profile, I thought to myself, how will I achieve this high, even as a legal practitioner? But I was able to pick something from the discussion, which I want to encourage others. Read everything written on mediation and arbitration. You should get it. That is my take. I really appreciate that one. I am happy that I'm able to pick that, and I have peace within me that I can do better as a legal practitioner. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, we have a virtual hand. We have some questions on the chat box. We will take them. But please, Ophion Eta Rosita, we acknowledge your virtual hands. If you don't mind, please unmute and share your thoughts. Thank you for joining.
My darling sister.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Your Excellencies, and thank you so very much for all the information that you have shared on this webinar. I actually have two questions, please. So the first is this association. This is just around about the first time I'm hearing about the existence of the association. So I need to understand, is the association an offshoot, a department, a product of the multi-door courts, of the ones that have been established in the country across the state? Is it linked to the, formally linked as maybe a referral pathway from the court or to the court? How is the association connected with the multi-door courts that are functional in the country? That's my first question. Second question, please, sir, Your Excellency, Ambassador Ogunyowo, can you share, do you have experiences of using the hybrid approaches in facilitating mediation cases? For instance, you started with mediation, it didn't work out, you rounded up with arbitration, or vice versa. Have you had any experience of that? And if yes, can you please share some insight? Thank you, and over.
Thank you, my darling sister. It's nice to have you with us. Thank you. Thank you. Well, before we answer the questions, I want to make public that the lady I just spoke now is one of my destiny enablers. I can enabler. My sister, you are a great lady. And I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. The first question I'll hand over to His Excellency Sir Valentino Bruno to answer. I'll take the second one. So let me take the second one since I'm talking now. It's about the use of hybrid processes. The one I've used repeatedly is MEDCON. MEDCON is mediative conciliation. It was conceived by one of our own, Barrister Tim Ifeanyi Anago. The day I heard about that process, that very day I designed a form for its application. It's a simple process. But before the parties are subjected to the process, they will sign that form. It's a form I won't mind sharing with Mr. Saz to share with all those who are in the house today. Simple form that shows that you start with mediation, failing which the parties have empowered you to decide for them. It's different from MEDAB. MEDAB is a combination of mediation and arbitration. Two processes. MEDCON is about this individual that the parties, both parties have confidence in. If they fail in mediation, they will not mind if this person decides for them. It's a wonderful process. In that form I designed, there's a clause that if peradventure that first meeting is adjourned and one of the parties fails to attend the next adjourned date, that party would have been assumed to hand over his or her powers to the conciliator to decide. So that you did not attend does not matter. In a mediation, parties can walk away. The advantage of this is that you will not leave the process without an outcome. Either one emanating from mediation or one imposed by the conciliator in the form of an award. Mediative conciliation. They start with mediation, allowing the parties on their own with the facilitative process of the mediator to arrive at their own solution, failing which they have empowered you to decide for them. And I use that most times when judges directly refer cases to me. Now tell the parties, this is the process I like to use. Once mediation has failed, what I do is to bring out that form and show the parties that based on your having signed this form, they have empowered me to decide for you. But if you don't mind, can we have one more session at mediation? Your Excellencies, what do you think happens in that one more session? You see them struggling to come up with a solution. It's a wonderful process. It's an assured outcome. Remember the initiator, I start Tim Ifeanyi Anago. Mediative, that's the one I've used extensively, especially when judges directly refer cases to me. I use it, and that's getting me a lot of results. Sabino, please.
Let me answer your question this way. Let me say with all humility that the concept of an association of multi-door courthouse practitioners is my brainchild. It is something I don't like to say in public, but your question raises it. I thought I have been in mediation or the ADR process since 2008, when I trained as an associate mediator at the Multi-Door Courthouse, Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, under the auspices of the Negotiation and Conflict Management Group. When the mediation advocacy concept came into Nigeria, still through me, we began a partnership with the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse and trained mediation advocates for quite some time before we got the buy-in of the Nigerian Bar Association, which we now work with as service providers. Within that period of time, I came to this realization that there are a number of persons who train as either mediation advocates or mediators, and soon after the training, they keep their certificates away and begin to complain that there are no jobs. You need some kind of peer relationship. Now the multi-door courts are here. The multi-door courthouse are a new concept. Except we that have been trained as mediation advocates and mediators set up a standard, have peer reviews, and encourage each other in our practice, the situation might remain stagnant. I then thought of a name, multi-door courthouse practitioners. You will realize that multi-door courthouses have only a lean staff, a lean number of staff. You just have the management and a few other people. The number of persons that constitute the workforce of multi-door courthouses are the members of the neutral panel. And the neutral panel is constituted by independent mediators who are called in only when their services are needed. And then for mediation advocates who do not have that opportunity of having to work in any multi-door courthouse under any panel structure, they still have to do their bit. It is your business to take matters to the multi-door courthouse for mediators to resolve. When you do that, are you not working at the multi-door courthouse? The members of the neutral panel that come to resolve cases within the multi-door courthouse, are they not working as multi-door court practitioners? Then I thought of a concept. The Nigerian Bar Association is an association to which all lawyers are qualified to join, irrespective of whether or not you practice litigation. You can be into any other area of legal practice and still be a necessary member of the NBA. So I thought of that any ADR practitioner who is qualified and accredited is qualified to be a member of the Association of Multi-Door Courthouse Practitioners, learning from each other, making a case for the multi-door courthouses, majority of whom employ public servants who cannot speak for themselves in public. The association now stands out as the NDA of the ADR process. We shall speak for multi-door courthouses. We shall support them. Where issues are bad, we'll be able to raise concerns and ask for a review. We are not employed by government, so we are not bound by public service rules or whatever. And in any case, where in practice, what is practice? One clear definition is a professional process which you undertake from time to time. You'll find that in some professional groups, you do not get a distinction, a merit, or whatever. You just get a pass. Because when it comes to professionalism, nobody knows it all. So we depend on each other. We share ideas, practice nuggets, support each other. Mr. Ogunyowo is one of the leading practitioners in this area. This webinar has brought to the fore the fact that he was one of the pioneers of this system. Rich as his knowledge is, there are certain areas where Mr. Ogunyowo may still ask opinions from other colleagues. So we are not linked to any one multi-door courthouse. It is not a multi-door courthouse organization. The multi-door courthouses have an association of multi-door courthouses in Nigeria. We are just the professionals. We practice there. And as practitioners in that area, we have both legal and constitutional rights to form an association that will promote our interests. So that is how the association has come to be. When I first muted the concept to some people, what I got was a flat no. No, it's not doable. Do you own a multi-door courthouse? How can you explain this and all of that? For about 5 people, the first responses I got were no. But I knew where I was going to, and I insisted. Today, we have a membership of over 110 persons, professionals, and it can only grow, like Mr. Ogunyowo said. So please join us if you are a mediator, a mediation advocate, a conciliator, an arbitrator. Once you are trained and certified by a recognized association, a recognized training body, you are qualified to belong. Together, we shall grow multi-door court practice in Nigeria. Thank you.
Sir Valentino Bruno, you are a great man, and we appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Excellency, if you don't mind, I wish to take a question from the chat box, if you don't mind, sir. A question being asked by Mona Udwaran. She says, do mediators have their own private centers outside the multi-door courthouse?
Thank you, Your Excellency, for asking. One simple answer is yes, I do have one. I have a center, the ADR Center in Abuja. Thank you. So you can set up your own center. In fact, when we wrote the practice direction for the Lagos multi-door courthouse, the very first practice direction, there was provision for private ADR providers. That means, as in appropriate circumstances, a judicial officer can even refer cases to a private ADR practitioner. Thank you, Ma, for asking. I appreciate you. MMA Sani, please.
Let me add to that. The laws, the practice directions of the various multi-door courthouses states that if you are a private practitioner and you have resolved the matter, you can bring it to the multi-door courthouse for registration for enforcement. That gives you the validity. So you can do a mediation in your chambers, in your office, wherever that is acceptable by parties. And when they sign off, you can take that to a multi-door courthouse for registration for enforcement. So what better hour do you want? So for those of our colleagues who still lay back, looking for jobs only at the multi-door courthouses, there are only so few vacancies that exist. We can come together in groups of 5, 3, or whatever, and begin a practice. All we just need to do is that we do it appropriately the way we were taught and ensure that no party contests our agreements. Thank you.
MMA Sani, please. Your Excellency.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. Okay, good to know everyone can hear me. My question is, okay, sir. Ambassador Ogunyowo, I want a clarification on some of the statements you made earlier on regarding clients walking into the multi-door house themselves without the prompting of their lawyers. I'm wondering if you're suggesting that that should be discouraged. If that is what I understand you to be saying, or, I just want that clarification. And then my view is that I think that we must make a distinction between the lawyer as a professional wanting to fend for himself to earn his daily bread, and the need for conflict resolution within the context of, the society and the nation state as it is. The Constitution of Nigeria guarantees that anyone can represent himself if you think you want to, even in the court. And to that extent, if, for example, we're saying that the normal litigation process will soon become a dinosaur in a matter of, years, and that's the prayer. And especially for civil cases, where, for example, what you require more is the service of a professional, for example, an accountant, an engineer, and all of that, to advise disputants. Will it not be better to have them, with the freedom? Not to be so fixated about the lawyer being the first person to be consulted, or first professional where there is a dispute. So that's my own view, that they should be free to walk in without necessarily be overtly too concerned about the lawyer losing money or losing client. That should be the principle of the professional competence of the lawyer, how he handles that. And then the other suggestion might be that the courthouses may retain lawyers, litigation advisors or advocates like Mr. Boro, as mentioned, talked about. Perhaps where it is then, considered that these people need services of lawyers in that regard, you may present a list of some of them to say, if you desire, we have some here whom you might, and those are likely to be people who, for example, would have been working, who have been trained to work within that context and make the process, easier. These are just my random thoughts that I thought I should share, and the clarifications.
Thank you, Excellency. To start with, we agreed this webinar will end by 8. It is after 8, except with the kind permission of everyone in the house. Can we take 10 more minutes, please? I'm going to keep to time. Can we take 10 more minutes? Will it help?
Sir, you can go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank
It's
you.
approved. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, sir. Your view is well taken. My training is that I should try by all means to try and see things from other people's perspective. I was one of the first in-house mediators at the Lagos Multi-Door. I saw situations where a lawyer brings his client to the Multi-Door Courthouse. 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, that client is coming on his or her own without coming with a lawyer. Putting myself in the shoes of a lawyer who believed in the Multi-Door Courthouse, and then I brought my client there. So now know that client is now going without me. It's not a very good experience. Remember that we have mediation center at the Ministry of Justice. The center within the High Court premises, where we know that lawyers are the gatekeepers of the justice delivery system. We must care about what concerns them. If we want the buy-in of lawyers, that is my own view, and based on my experience of seeing parties coming back to the Multi-Door Courthouse. There was a particular case, I won't discuss it now, but that lawyer does no other case for anyone else apart from this particular client. It goes around the country. The case we had to start 3 times. By the time we were done, the case was resolved. The following week, the man invited me to his house. I called his lawyer, told him, I should go. His client told me, I love what you people are doing. Is that your center? You know what I want to do? I said, no. What do you want to do? He said, I'm going to withdraw all my cases and bring them to you. I'm ashamed to say it, but I told a lie. I said, sir, if you recall, it was your lawyer that brought you to our center. If you have any other case you want to bring to the center, please go through your lawyer. Experience helps us to appreciate how things can work better. So my focus is, since the lawyers are the gatekeepers of the justice delivery system, and the Multi-Door Courthouse is the center within the administrative structure of the court, let people who want to go there go through their lawyers. Let the lawyers listen to them and advise on which door will be best suited for the resolution of the dispute. It is my own way of protecting the interests of lawyers. Once again, thank you for sharing your views, Your Excellency. You are a great man. and we appreciate you. Thank you. There's some hands up too.
Can I quickly take a question on the chat box, if you don't mind, Your Excellency?
Yes.
Okay. From Muhammad Umam, he's asking, what suggestions can you give to judges or magistrates in referral states like Niger State, who is stationed outside the state capital?
Let me understand that question.
What suggestions can you give to judges or magistrates in referral states like Niger State, who is stationed outside the state capital? If I get your question correctly, Mr. Muhammad Umar, I'm sure the Multi-Door Courthouse is in the state capital, while we have magistrates that are outstations and judges that are outstations. So I'm sure maybe it's how can they refer matters to the Multi-Door Court that is domiciled in the state capital? Mr. Umar, if that is a good expression of your question, I will get answers. But if not, please do well to reconstruct your questions and drop on the chat box. Over to you.
I think it's clearer. You have somebody in Suleja, for instance, a magistrate or a judge who wants to refer a case to the Multi-Door, and the only Multi-Door Courthouse is in Mina. What can the person do? I think it's possible, first, to appreciate that the Multi-Door Courthouse, even though it's supposed to be a structure within the administrative structure of the court, is actually a concept. It's a concept. So that magistrate or a judge can refer the case to a particular lawyer or mediator, arbitrator. Yes. Remember I said when we wrote the practice direction for the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, we had provision for private ADR providers. I even know some judges that will call parties into their chambers and say, look, you are acting on behalf of your client. If you don't mind, can you take 2 weeks, talk to yourselves, and come back to me what you have resolved? When the 2 lawyers can talk to themselves on behalf of their clients, they're very likely to come up with solutions that they can present to their clients, and the clients will accept. So it's actually a concept. You can actually refer this to those within your jurisdiction that you know have skills to assist the parties in getting the dispute resolved. Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, my Lord, for asking. Reverend Ambassador Michael, please.
Good evening, sir. Your Excellencies, I do appreciate Ambassador Nyewo, sir, due respect. And I have to support the initial discussion about the attitudes of the lawyers towards mediation. Of recent, my experience in Multi-Door Court, I experienced with Multi-Door Court and lawyers.
Some lawyers, please. Some lawyers, Your Excellency.
Some lawyers, okay. Thank you. With some lawyers, I think it's appreciative, and it makes mediation so easy. We had a referral from the High Court to Multi-Door Court, and I happened to handle it. And in fact, the lawyer maybe is having, because it has not been confirmed, I think is having mediation experience too. So in supportive, it's so easy to for the parties to arrive on agreements to extent. So I believe that by more prorogation of Multi-Door Court system to the lawyers, barristers, it will help us much in the Multi-Door Court system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Unfortunately, we may need to round up now, please. We have no more time. Your Excellency, Valentino Bruno, I appreciate this privilege. We agreed to end by 8. The participants graciously gave us 10 more minutes. It is 8:10.
Yeah. It's an agreement, it's an agreement. So if not, I see only one hand up. Am I correct?
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
There's one hand
I'm
up,
sorry.
and we have like 2
No,
questions on
let
the
me
chat
bring
box.
it down, sir.
Okay. So we can close. If it was only one hand up, we'd have asked that we take the person. But if there are 3,
There
then
is
we
one
can
hand.
close.
No, one hand up and 2 questions on the chat box, Your Excellency.
Can we
Please
please
allow
take
the
the
one
one hand up? Let's
Yeah.
please do that. Since go ahead there, Samuel.
Bumi, please. Bumi at the level, please unmute and share your thoughts, please.
My question, good evening, Your Excellency. My question is, if parties to a mediation process tell the mediator that they want their mediation process to be done virtually, is it proper for the mediator to allow parties to do that way? Or do I say, can mediation be done virtually for parties?
Yes, you can even arrange for breakout rooms. We do it a lot now. Virtually, when the parties are not in the same location. Did you hear me?
Sir, yes, sir. I heard you, sir.
Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. What's the question in the chat room?
Can criminal cases be settled at the Multi-Door Courthouse?
Criminal.
Yes,
No.
yes.
But some minor cases that people may call criminal, like assault and some other, once the parties are willing to discuss it, the Multi-Door can assist. Minor.
Yeah, that is under the restorative justice program.
Yes.
Some multi-door courthouses run the restorative justice program where minor criminal offenses are referred. To that extent, yes.
The great Emerson said we shall meet if we are related. And we have met this evening. It shows the depth of relationship. Thank you, Your Excellencies. My lords, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you, sir.
And we appreciate you.
Excellency.
We also appreciate the moderator, Sam, for a very wonderful job you have done. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Valentino.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Your Excellency Samuel.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Multi-Door Courthouse, Ambassador Shego Ogoyanwo, thank you. And the host,
Ambassador Sadun, we appreciate
so
you.
much.
This is my second time of having interaction with you. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. From Edo State Multi-Door Courthouse, Benin.
Wow, my lords. Thank you, my lords. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Excellency. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We appreciate you for this wealth of information and share of experience. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you so much,
now.
Excellencies.
Nice meeting you, Madam Bumi.
Thank you so much. Noble Lords.
Thank you.
Your Excellencies.
Webinar is on our way from Plateau State Multi-Door Courthouse.
Wow. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it's a pleasure seeing you again.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Noble Lords, Your Excellencies, we want to appreciate everyone that took out time to participate in the maiden edition of our webinar organized and put together by the Association of Multi-Door Courthouse Practitioners. is on record that close to 400 persons registered for this training. And I want to thank you that beyond registering, you took the bull by the horn to participate in this webinar. We do hope in our subsequent editions, you will find time to join us. The link to join the association has been dropped on the chat box. Do well to follow the link to become a partner in progress. It is being said that a tree makes a forest. What looks small today will become mighty and big tomorrow. Your Excellency, Ambassador Segun Ogunyoho, the Ambassador of Appreciation. Thank you so much, sir, for finding time. On behalf of the convener of the Association of Multi-Door Courthouse Practitioners, Mr. Valentino Burrow, I want to appreciate every one of you for finding time to join us. If you wish to have the recorded version of this webinar, do well to drop your name, your email address, and your phone number in the chat box, and we will send them to you. Thank you so much for joining us. 16 minutes past 8 Nigerian time. Till we come your way again. We wish you the best and only the best. Thank you and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sam. You've been
Thank
wonderful.
you, Mr. Samuel. God bless you.
Thank you.
A
Thank you,
job well
Ambassador.
done. Good night.
Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Valentino.
Thank you, Your Excellencies.
Appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Thank you.